Welcome to the virtual review of Introduction to Robotics. I am the teacher Garza, and today we will see the basic programming structures. For this, we are going to use the software Robotics. This is a software that we work in stage 2. Therefore, we already know the basic commands that will help us for today, such as on, off, DC motors, among others. Take your textbook of robotics in hand to underline what we are going to be talking about today, as well as the notebook for you to take notes. The operation of a robot is mainly made up of input devices, which are the sensors that detect the environment and send information to the controller, like the contact switch sensor, the infrared sensor, and the audio sensor. It is also made up of the processing devices that is the CPU, which processes the information it receives through the sensors and transforms them into actions. The output devices are the mechanism that allow inferring in their environment. They are the actuators. The programming structures, the sequential structure is the one that always goes down. It is step by step. They have a beginning and an end. Conditional programming is when at some point in the program there is a condition and it can be true or false. And we have cyclic programming, is when a part of the program repeats some instructions thanks to some condition. The differences between program and programming. Program is a set of commands that is needed for a task to be performed, and programming is a methodology or process to build a program, and the programming language is a set of symbols, words, and rules, syntaxes. The development of the programs is thanks to the 8 phases. The first phase is to define the problem. The second is the analysis of the problem to identify what the input and output data are. The third is the design, that is to elaborate the algorithm and the flow diagram. The fourth is the coding, is where we have to translate the programming language. The fifth phase is the debugging with errors and corrected. The sixth is the documentation, where we make the user manual. The seventh phase is the implementation of the program, where the programs to be used are downloaded, and in phase 8 is program maintenance, adapted if there is any subsequent change. The programming commands. The DC motor is a direct current motor, converts electrical energy into mechanical. This is the block to work in the Robotics software. It is in chips. DC motor. We insert the block just after start, and we click on the box in the upper right corner. The window to program it appears, and we indicate how many motors we will be using. Later, we will work with the directions. If you go forward or backward, and then with the speed. We confirm and ready. Now we are going to put a delay. A delay is a time command. How long do I want the motors to be activated? We determine the number of seconds we want to be active. It can be from 1 to 25 seconds. We confirm, and the 10 seconds that we establish appear. We insert another DC motor. The first one has the direction forward. I activate the window again. I activate my 2 ports again, but now they are going to be backwards. That's why we click the down arrow, determine the speed, and confirm. So we invert the rotation of the motors. Again, and insert another delay to determine how long this action will take. 10 seconds. Now, what follows is to configure the port to download the robot program. We confirm that we connect the prototype to the CPU with our cable and we download it. Ready, it is downloaded to the prototype. Now we can turn on the button Run. And we are going to see how our program works already in the prototype. Here is our robot. First, it advances forward, the 10 seconds that we programmed it, and then it had to do it in reverse. Kinematics is a study of mechanisms in space. Joints are the mechanisms that allow movement in different parts of the robot, and there are 2 types of joints, rotational and linear. One link is a rigid structures that give amplitude to the movements of the joints. Degree of freedom is a number of independent movements that you can have. In this graph, we can see the movements of a robot similar to human arms. Let's see an example. The robot name is Da Vinci, which is demonstrating the precision with which it is working. If you look at it, it is a grape that it is sowing. It was used in the year 2000. But this robot is not autonomous. It is only reproducing at scale the surgeon's movements. In the year 2014, these surgical robots operating in hospital, their use amount to almost 3,000 units. But its cost is very expensive. It exceeds $2 million. But look at the size with which it works. We are going to configure a servo motor. Remember that it has 3 cables. One is a positive terminal, another is the negative terminal, and another is a signal input. Here, I have to establish how many servos I'm going to use and the degree of freedom that it requires. Each one must have independent degree of freedom. I confirm and the servos that I have set appear in the box. Since we are not going to continue using it, we eliminate it. Now we are going to work with the on command. Remember that this command helps me to activate the output ports. It is enough to indicate which is the port that I'm going to be using, and I can activate it. It can be the LED. The ports appear in the block Assets. And the off command block is very similar. Remember that off disables the output ports, and you just have to select which port you want to disable. So, today we learned the three programming structures, like conditional, sequential, and cyclical, as well as the 8 programming phases for the development of the program, from phase 1, which is to define the problem, to phase 8, which is the maintenance of the program. We use the software logic to program the motors. We learned that the servo motor has 3 wires. 1 is the positive, 2 is the negative, and 3 is the signal. And the DC motors has 2 wires. 1 is positive and the other one is negative. The difference between one and another is that the DC motor will be rotating and also will be manipulated the speed, while the servo motor will indicate the degrees it will move. The LEDs are connected to the CPU. To activate them, you need to turn on the command on. And remember that the block is in the port which is connected. Also remember that the delay command is to delay time. So today we learned a lot of things of robotics. In the videos we see that robots are precise and repetitive. Do not forget to make Nexus activities. Thank you for watching, so see you next time.